You may all be familiar with the vicious mob that assaulted a man and woman in Cincinnati over the weekend. Now, we want to give viewer discretion here, as some of the images and footage that we'll be airing in this segment are of sensitive nature. This appalling image of a white woman viciously attacked over the weekend has been circulating on the internet. It has now been revealed that her name is Holly, and she has finally broken her silence on the incident. Holly has now spoken to Vivek Ramaswamy and revealed an infuriating detail following the attack. The woman seen in the video getting brutally assaulted by an angry mob in Cincinnati has broken her silence and revealed something that reflects the lack of empathy from so many, despite the heinousness of the attack, the Gateway pundit says. A group of black individuals smacked around a bald white guy at the intersection of West 4th Street and Elm Street in downtown Cincy and beat him so bad that he could not get up. Then, a white woman got slugged by one of the cowards. Her head slammed down onto the concrete and she lost consciousness. Blood was seen coming out of her mouth. 5 people have been arrested, but their names have not been released, nor their charges. Ramaswamy announced on X Monday afternoon that he'd spoken to the female victim, a single mother whose first name is Holly. He did not give out her last name. She was in the city for a birthday party. He said, "I spoke to Holly earlier today, the woman tragically assaulted in Cincinnati this weekend. She's a single working mum who went to a friend's birthday party. It's unconscionable that there were no police present in that area of Cincinnati on a Friday night, or even an ambulance to take her to the hospital. Hardworking Americans shouldn't have to worry for their safety when they have a good time in our cities," he added. Holly then revealed an infuriating detail to Ramaswamy. Before he connected with her, not one Ohio state politician, Democrat, or Republican bothered to try to contact her. In fact, only one police detective had talked to her at all. How inconsiderate and self-serving. Holly said not a single local or state official had yet reached out as of earlier that afternoon, other than one police detective. Leftists like to lecture about systemic injustice, while thugs turn our cities into war zones. I'm done with their excuses. Ramaswamy closed by vowing that he would take a zero-tolerance approach to these crimes and noted that Holly appreciates all the prayers and support. Quote, "As governor, I'll make sure they're behind bars, not running wild. Our cops will have the green light to restore order. No apologies," he said. Holly appreciates the kind words and prayers from patriots across the country and hopes that the publicity around her story ensures that local and state leaders clean up our failing cities. "We hope to visit Holly as soon as she recovers," he said. Now, apparently the FBI has launched a probe into the brawl where we're hoping to see some accountability for a change, as Vivek is calling for. We just can't let cities continue to descend into this madness where you're just bashing people while they're on the ground, struggling to get up, recording it on your phones, turning it into some sort of a spectacle. This is unbelievable behavior. The Cincinnati police chief, Terry Teague, is blaming social media and journalism for apparently hyping this up into something much bigger than it looks like it is with our eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes, essentially, is what she's saying. Take a listen.
Social media and journalism and the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event. What that does, that causes us some difficulties in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law. Because what happens, that social media post and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened.
Something else that people may want to be aware of is that she, meaning Teague, is currently being sued by her own department for discrimination. Cincinnati police officers sue city police chief claiming discrimination against white males. This is in from WCPO. Four Cincinnati police officers are suing the city of Cincinnati and the police chief of the Cincinnati Police Department, or CPD, claiming they were discriminated against for being white males. The federal lawsuit was filed on Monday and claims the 4 officers were denied opportunities for preferred assignments and weren't promoted because of their race and gender. It gives you the names of the officers there. This is from May, by the way. The lawsuit claims that Police Chief Teresa Teague gave preferred assignments more often to officers who are minorities or women. It also lists 9 examples of women or minorities who were lower on the promotions list but were promoted over the officers who filed the lawsuit. The lawsuit states that preferred assignments include perks and monetary benefits, such as take-home cars, additional overtime opportunities, and pay and call-out or on-call pay that are not afforded to relief assignments. Preferred assignments are also generally regarded within the police department as career-enhancing, including for promotional purposes. The lawsuit claims that of CPD's minority lieutenants, 79% received preferred assignments. Of the female lieutenants, 89% were given preferred assignments. And of the white males, as in white male lieutenants, 44% were given preferred assignments. We're scratching our heads because the math isn't mathing, Sentinel Police Association President Stuart Isaacs said. Imagine if the races were reversed in that video that we played. An angry white mob stomping on a black man's head, God forbid. It would be plastered all over every mainstream media outlet, telling the world that we have an epidemic of neo-Nazis, white supremacists are taking over, it's the end of the world. But this event is not all over every mainstream media outlet being sprayed 24/7 on everything as it would if the roles were reversed. So perhaps the part that everyone is too scared to say out loud is that there is a clear bias against white people in society, in the mainstream media, and in some police departments, as is being alleged here. Is that the reason why the Cincinnati police isn't probing into this violent mob further? Is that the reason why the police chief is instead blaming journalists and social media rather than looking into the root cause of these issues? And for the most part, the root cause is DEI hires, quotas, things like affirmative action. We see what's happening in the universities now. This is all a product of trying to manufacture some version of an ideal society where everybody is living in an equitable utopia. In order to maintain that fantasy, we have to ignore when so-called minorities attack so-called majorities and blame it on everything but the culture itself. The very culture that has been perpetuated by the media and institutions convincing everyone that white people are the devil for years now. This is happening all over the world. Australia, Canada, we can all see what's happening in the UK, some parts of Europe. It's an absolute DEI disaster. The ideal scenario in all of Western civilization is that every man is treated equal and therefore has individual rights, not group rights, and therefore is accountable for themselves, their actions based on their individuality. Someone does something good, good for them. Someone does something bad, well, you'll be dealt with accordingly, the same as the guy down the road, regardless of the color of your skin, your socioeconomic background, or anything. Society needs to return back to a system of assessing people based on their character and people being rewarded purely based on merit and nothing else. And to add to that, this constant racism towards white people needs to be something that people are held accountable for, the same as any other racism is treated.